What's up, Tutorinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts Podcast Show. We're talking about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am your podcast player one, Brando, and joining me here today is this podcast player two, Mike.
Hello.
Hello, good sir, and hello to all of you out there. This is episode.
Hello, world.
Hello. This is 127 is our episode number today. We are a week removed from E3 2019. We covered it here on the show, episodes 125 and 26. We're both dedicated to covering a lot of the late-breaking news on that. And there was some stuff that got, over the last week that has slipped out. So some news and some updates. We're going to try and remember it all and cover what we can here today. Mostly this episode is going to be us just sitting back and chatting about some stuff that we saw, heard, news and rumors that's out there. But Mike... First and foremost, I'm trying to wake up because normally I get home, we're going to do a show. It took me so long to get home today due to the weather.
Right.
And then I get home and it's
the weather here sucks.
Oh man, it's been like nothing but rain. It's been like it's like Seattle but stormier.
I'm gonna say we're pretty much living in Seattle, Washington right now.
Oh man, and it just pissed buckets, and
at least every 2 to 3 days it's raining.
Well, yeah, but like this was like I couldn't see the road. This is like blizzard whiteout, but rain, and
it's crazy.
There was standing water in the road. I was hydroplaning a lot, and I had to go to the store really quick to get. None other than my eye drops for my affliction.
Yes.
So then they're also redoing the entire store. So I'm, I had to not go into the pharmacy entrance
At your Wally World.
At my Wally World, I couldn't go through my pharmacy entrance. I had to go all the way on the other side of the store and go walk all the way across the store and walk all the way back. And that's like when I got your text ready. I'm like, I'm not even home. So I get home. Trying to manage the family just a little bit. I'm not going to see them much tonight. And I get back here, and you're like, "We're making dinner." I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'll get some stuff ready." And in that period of time, my energy level went. Just I faded. So you called me. I'm like, "Hey." How's it going? Also, as you can see, I don't have the green screen behind me tonight because the game room is clean.
Yeah.
It's clean, and I'm actually having a cool thing. But I'm getting rid of this thing, though.
I know.
Baby's going bye-bye. After we get off the air, I got to take it apart. And the one thing that I've been looking for while I was waiting for you and before I sat down and lost all my energy were Allen wrenches. And I think I found one just sitting here. As we were talking, I'm like, hey, that's an Allen wrench. I might be able to use that. I wonder if that's the same size. Anyway.
It all depends if it's the right one or not.
I know, right? Anyways. We got some really cool news this week because you sent me a picture yesterday.
Yes, I did. So, kudos to you, Bethesda, for starting to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna get up here to grab them and adjust my light because I don't like that I have a shadow beard.
A shadow beard?
Yes, that's why I said.
I didn't realize you had a shadow beard. So what I'm actually going to do is, let's see here. I'm gonna add a source here on the fly, if you will. I'm gonna add existing. Yeah, there we go. So what I'm gonna do, Mike, is I'm actually going to pretty much I'm actually gonna change our entire screen, right?
One half's gonna have to be yellow today. I have to fix that, but life goes on.
Hey man, it be what it be, man.
Oh, you're gonna big size me?
I'm gonna
Super size me, Captain.
I'm gonna supersize just you. Just you. So are you ready?
I have readily accessible both bags. I have both bags. So I got this lovely canvas bag in yesterday.
For that's the Fallout 76 canvas bag that was supposed to come with the collector's edition or whatever that edition was called.
Basically, the Power Armor edition.
Power Armor edition. That's what it was called. Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's been so long.
So yeah, this is a canvas bag here, and well, here's the difference.
One is reflective.
What do you mean?
I mean, it reflects light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of them also is literally
What kind of is
ultra
that like?
thin. They're both ultra thin, but
One is actually like is that just like that's almost like a reusable Walmart bag or something.
kind of, yeah. I mean, pretty much. Actually, I think the Walmart bags are a little thicker, the reusable ones. I'm being honest. I hate to say that. Sorry, Bethesda, but yeah, this thing is junk.
So that was the one that they shipped with it that wasn't canvas.
This is the shipper.
Yeah. And then fans threw a fit, and they wanted real canvas bags. It took 7 months.
7 months from the day that I sent out my email, but I got it. I can't really see how well it looks.
I mean,
yeah, it's the exact same bag, just canvas.
Right.
It's still the ultra thin canvas. I mean, it's nothing. I'm sure there's people out there going, "Really, Bethesda? You send us this garbage?"
No, they are.
And it's like, this actually is a pretty decent bag for a collector's edition. Like I said, I had no intentions on getting this until like people made a big deal, and Bethesda's like, "Hey, we're gonna give this away. So if you got a Power Armor edition, just go ahead and email us, and we'll send you one for free." Like, yeah, might as well. I mean,
yeah.
I really wanted it only for the helmet, but
yeah,
good for you, Bethesda, because you are adding NPCs to the game. I just want to go ahead and give you a round of applause.
Yeah. So this.
But I'm not excited about Battle Royale. Since it is trending, so let's just add in what's trending.
But people,
I get it.
I guess, enjoyed it.
I get it. I mean, it's a big deal. I've been playing it. I still hate it, but I enjoy the game.
Wait,
so
hold on.
I haven't been.
Are you? What game have you been playing?
I talked about the. I was talking about Battle Royale in general.
Oh, okay.
As a whole,
I didn't. I'm like,
did
you
the
fire up?
I like the gameplay of Apex, but I still absolutely hate the Battle Royale.
Well,
I hate it.
It be what it be, man. It be what it be. I have an article from Screen Rant. Says.
Ooh, Screen Rant. Rant it.
Wait, they have a too long didn't read version? They have a too long didn't read version. Wow. And it's just pictures with. It's almost like the Donald Trump version with just pictures in one sentence.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm going to read that version instead. It says, Bethesda might actually save Fallout 76 after all by making it a real Fallout game, just like I said like last week's episode. New Wastelanders expansion will add human NPCs with dialogue trees and stories, essentially adding what everybody already expected would be in the game at launch. That, coupled with the new Battle Royale mode, could revitalize the game. Oddly enough, it seems that the solution with Fallout 76 might be simply to return to the game's roots, prompting a debate on whether or not Fallout 76 should have ever been made, or whether we should have simply got a traditional Fallout instead.
I think that we should have got a traditional Fallout, but just add in the multiplayer dynamic. Just give us a real Fallout game and make the NPCs immortal. The quest giver ones immortal, because they're afraid that the NPCs with players around, that you're gonna get the people coming around and killing. Sorry, I had to read that because it came up on the screen. Killing NPCs for quest givers that are quest givers. So it's like, make them immortal where they cannot die and they do not attack back, or make them to where they're so strong that they one-shot everyone no matter what.
Well, I want to say that like they did say about like NPCs are going to be localized to towns or certain places where they're going to store them. Certain areas.
The problem is with that there's not very many towns.
Yeah. Well, they could be adding them in.
Continue.
It is time for the weekly Wyatt wrap up here on the Game Addicts podcast. Wyatt, it's almost Wyatt's bedtime, so he's going to come back here and say hi for a minute. What's up, buddy? What is on your pajamas? Pac-Man. Is that Pac-Man? Mm-hmm. Oh, I like how you just grab the microphone away.
He knows the drill by now.
Oh, do you need headphones?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
Hello, Wyatt.
Hi.
Who is that?
Hi.
Is that old Mike?
Yeah.
Say hi to old Mike.
Hi, old Mike.
Hi, Wyatt.
This is Pac-Man on my pajamas.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, Daddy and old Mike know a little bit about Pac-Man.
No, don't say running. It's not a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not a joke.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
You
to make light
cannot.
of it.
I'm not going to say on that. But
So what have you been up to today?
I've been dragon.
What?
I dragon and I die.
You're speaking gibberish.
What's another spook?
Yep. Well, maybe here soon you and I could... Have we been playing old Mario?
We will.
What have we been playing Mario on?
This
On the NES?
on the NES.
Yeah.
And we were just playing on Mario on the NES.
Are you getting good at it?
And we just played Mario on the Switch to Mario.
Oh, we are? We're going to play Mario on the Switch tomorrow. To Mario.
Is that Iron Man?
What? That is Iron Man. You Hawkeye.
The Hawk guy? No, it's not.
All right. We got to continue the podcast, buddy. You go have a good night.
Don't rush on.
Are you
Bye, Wyatt.
Bye, Mike. Bye, oh, Mike. Bye, oh, Mike.
Can you say thanks for listening, everybody?
Thanks for listening to everybody.
Thanks for listening to everybody. All right, Bubba. Can you get down? All right.
It's your turn.
Yep, it's my turn. That is my air cooler. You gonna give me a hug? Come hither.
We're putting water in.
Yep, I love you, dude.
Love you too.
Love you, bye. This kid.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
We were talking about Fallout 76. We were talking about adding in the battle royale modes and and then the NPCs and how in the original game there's not really any areas that really have like any towns, but that could be changing with the whole update. Though it's going to be a big expansion called the Wastelanders. It's coming in the fall, so it'll be about a year after the game has come out. I mean, after everything is done, I'm a big Fallout fan, but for me, I didn't want to jump into this because I was like afraid there wasn't enough in this game for me. And turns out
you right.
I was right. I enjoyed it on the YouTube channel. If you go back to our extra live stream that we did, we captured gameplay from your feed, but we were both playing in the game together in the same room with two separate PS4s.
Yeah.
And I was playing on your wife's account, and you were playing on your account.
And then you got booted.
I did. I got up to go do something, go to the bathroom or something, and I was like pretty much like, no, I got this. I got my seat taken, but you know what? It was cool. I had fun. I had fun playing it. Even though you got a little irritated with me because I didn't understand what to do and where to go. And you were like, follow the quest. I'm like, where's the quest?
Well, the fact that I did the quest that we were on together, and then you didn't do the icons or anything, and
Well, I'm following you. I figured it would since we're together, it was like both of us doing it together, but we were both had to do it separately, and I didn't realize that.
Right.
I didn't realize that
Right.
at all. I'm brand new to this MMO world, Mike. I don't do that.
Well, some things will allow you to do them together, like kills,
yeah.
but other things you have to do on your own, like item collection.
Yeah, well, you can just kiss my
Either
ass.
way,
Anyway,
we
so
got it going.
I had fun playing the game, but I'm thinking that maybe, after this next big update comes out, who knows? Maybe I will pick up the game if there's enough for me to do by myself.
All right.
I don't know. The dialogue looks very similar to Fallout 3. That's cool. That's awesome. That more choices for us.
Yes.
We don't know to what extent. I would like for this game to eventually be a standalone, full-blown story, by itself. That's going to probably take a long time to get there.
All that it seems like it is people are now returning back, and they have things that they want you to do.
Yeah.
So really, I don't know how it's going to go over. With the Scorch Beasts and stuff, I mean, they pretty much just run around and attack everything, and they're very powerful. And what are you gonna do with the quests in that area? Like, you're gonna have to build something. They're gonna have to do a lot. They're gonna have to really change the graphical area. It's like graphically, things are gonna have to change.
Yeah.
They have like a couple of safe areas where you clear them out, like the Brotherhood of Steel's headquarters area. In that place, you can clear it out, and then there'll be like mole rats and stuff pop up here and there. But oh hi,
Here you are getting distracted by what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're right. But other than that, I mean, we'll see what they do with the changes and stuff. Obviously, it's a free update, so I'm going to go ahead and download it. But I don't have PS Plus, so
Yeah. Forgot you got rid of that.
it's not that I got rid of it. I just let it lapse, and we turned off our reoccurring stuff because we weren't playing together, and I wasn't playing online anymore. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
oh well.
Yeah, I don't have anything either. I let it lapse too a while back, so I mean, it is what it is.
What I do?
I'm thinking of picking up that Game Pass Ultimate for $1. I don't know, because I need to look and see when that offer ends, because I have less than a month. I have about a month left on my actual Game Pass, so I might as well for an extra $1 get access to Live or something. I thought about hopping on, because guess what? I found out that the online community for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer that we used to play still active. It's still active.
It is.
I looked it up, and there are still people who still play every difficulty level. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, should I do? Yeah. But the only thing is I really don't have a headset for the Xbox One or anything like that. I think I could use this just as a regular, with the regular thing, and it'll probably work, because it's just this is the gold headset for PS4 to be used wirelessly. But I literally have never used it wirelessly. I just plug it in and use the little wire. But yeah, Fallout. I've been seeing, as I saw stuff where people enjoyed the Battle Royale mode, so it's going to stick around pretty much indefinitely, and they're going to, they're going to try and add to it, try and make it better. Obviously we're too far away from Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes.
We don't even know what that's going to look like next year for them. We really don't. Bethesda, on that front.
What's going on here with Bethesda?
Well, because I'm thinking.
We all want to know.
Okay, because I'm thinking in that, reading what Todd Howard said, that, we knew there was going to be issues with the 76 launch, but we were just going to grit through it and tough through it. We didn't expect it to be that bad. With that being said, if they just would have said that this does not represent the final version of the game that we envision this as, and that we are going to, release this in open beta, invite you guys in for $40, even for $40, right? It's like, come on in, help us make this. And we've said this on this show. We've said it to our friends, other people that we've talked to before have made this statement themselves. If they just would have done that, it wouldn't have been so harsh. But instead, you're charging $60 to $200 for the standard to Power Armor Edition for a game that is not a complete game, and a game that they're going to complete over time. And it just, to me, that is just such a letdown, because obviously from the Bethesda game works, not like not just all the other studios that they own, but from their perspective, Starfield's too far away, Elder Scrolls 6 too far away, at least for the next year or two. So this was an idea that they were tinkering with Fallout 4, and they decided to make it a full game, and it hurt them so bad, and there's nothing on that front. They could have waited a whole other year and launched it this year.
Yep.
And no one would hate you for it.
Nope.
In fact, in my opinion, it probably would have still been met with some, this isn't as good as we want it to be, but at least it has some things there that, this is some of it's pretty standard for Fallout, quests, stuff like that. But there's bugs to work around. Instead, you launch it and it's abysmal, condition, and then you are trying like adding this thing, which is going to make it like pretty much a Fallout game. And I don't know.
Why didn't we do that from the beginning, fellers?
Yeah, I have no idea.
The biggest problem is like I get it. It was a Fallout 4's multiplayer they wanted to add to Fallout 4, and they were like, nah, let's just go ahead and release the regular game because we're a little skittish. But it wasn't a completed game. It was just a shell. And the world is boring. I mean, the gameplay is more Fallout 4, but better mechanics. I mean, yeah, I like Fallout 4. I really like it. It's just, come on. Do something.
So I have an article here. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet will get a $400 price tag, according to analysts. Now, I've told you this today, that I've heard everywhere from $400 to $650.
400 is relatively cheap for an 8K machine.
No kidding, right?
I mean, like, I don't think that I could make a full-blown 8K PC for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying what that's going to have.
Speaking to Gaming Bolt, well-established analyst Michael Pachter estimates that both Microsoft and Sony will shoot for a $400 price point for the launch of the Xbox, Scarlet, and PS5. Pachter also recognizes that the specs suggest $500 or so, as it was with the 2013 launch of the Xbox One, but he maintains that his hunch that Microsoft will announce $400 and Sony will follow suit. While that seems great news for any other gamer that looking to jump ship and to the latest and greatest new gaming console, a Twitter account dedicated to PS5 news and rumors alleges that Pachter separately informed them that PS5's... Whoa. A Twitter account dedicated to PS5 news and rumors alleged that Pachter separately informed them that PS5 will cost consumers a whopping $800, an absolutely unheard of entry for modern consoles.
No, they won't go that high.
I don't think so either. That is almost like, hey, I have an idea. Let's get something like... Now, that isn't not part of the course for Sony as a corporate, like with their crazy ass 4K monitor for $29,000. But for PlayStation, this is never like $600 was the highest they went for PS3, and it hurt them.
Yeah, I think that you're looking at 500. I think that's the sweet spot. It's 500, 450. 400 seems low for what they're packing into that machine. I mean, we'll see. But I don't think it's going to be cheaper than 500. And the fact that people that have dev kits are saying that PlayStation's more powerful.
Apparently it is, and I want to see more what's under the hood, because apparently from just what the standard specs that we've seen, they're mostly the same. You know,
They're mainly the same, and then Xbox is over here like it has a custom processor. It is custom designed for this system, and it's gonna be better. And people are saying, yeah, PS5 is better.
well, here's the thing. Okay, so I actually looked this up just the other day. There was a chart with all the specs for both consoles. They're exactly the same. And when it gets to the processor, both of them say custom processor.
Right.
So, because they're working with AMD, right?
Yeah.
So AMD has made custom processors for each machine. Now, obviously, you get to the nitty gritty. They're going to each run on a different kind of operating OS. One's, I assume Xbox is more Windows oriented, where PlayStation's more custom. But then, like, what is so custom about the processor within the architecture of each system with the specs so similar? At that point, it gets into the nitty gritty of what is, how the DNA of the machine and how it works. That's what I'm reading out of that. If each one's custom, like, they're the exact same processor, but they're custom. So, like, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking it up now.
That article continues. If the latter speculation about the prediction of $800 is an actual prediction of Pachters, it's understandably cast some doubt upon the validity of his information this time around. Luckily, he isn't the only pundit weighing in on the price tag of the PS5 and Scarlet, as translated and evaluated by T3. A report by Sony analyst Hideki Yasuda places the price of the PS5 back into Pachters' admittedly more pragmatic realm of $500, just like you said, Mike. Players should, and likely will be continuing to keep their fingers crossed at the $400 guess. But I kind of agree with you. I think they're both going to be about $500.
That's what I'm thinking. Have you seen some of the early images of the PS5?
I haven't seen any images of the PS5 because I don't believe that there's any actual images out yet.
I've got one right here. Copy image. I send to you. Paste. Send photo. There you go.
That's not a real PS5.
I know, but I just think it's funny. Either way, guys, it's like it looks like a bump.
Yeah, like the controller itself looks like one of the more realistic concepts for what they're going to do.
Yes.
Like for it having a possible touch screen, and the overall shape being very comparable to the DualShock 4. In fact, most of the design is very DualShock 4.
It's pretty much
oriented.
Exactly the same, except for I have a controller right here.
Yeah, where the touchpad would be is a touch screen.
They took this, they moved over your share and options button more.
Yeah, they're a little smaller
to here, and they're a little smaller, and then they made the touchpad about, I don't know, maybe almost all the way to the flat portion of
your buttons and D-pads.
Your buttons.
Yeah, and they're raised. Again, this is this concept design that actually looks a little bit more realistic.
It doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't think it looks like it's a little fatter, like as in thicker.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it looks bad at all.
So there's been a lot of shifting gears here. There's been a lot of criticism for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 was a lot of people's game of E3. The other one being FF7, which we have a little bit of stuff to talk about here in a minute. But
right.
But for Cyberpunk, it was another strong showing for them 2 years in a row. People getting to see gameplay. Everybody who saw it said, "Wow, this looks even better from last year as far as gameplay goes." You guys are still working on this to make it even better. Of course, that game comes out in April. I have it pre-ordered. We'll be picking that up day one.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order that.
And of course, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is it's a game that was based off of a pen and paper RPG called Cyberpunk 2020, created by Mike Pondsmith, and he hit Reddit because there's been some detractors of the game, people picking on the game, and he recently went to Reddit to defend the game from critics upset over perceived issues with racism.
Right.
Now, Mike
I love the fact that it's racism
mhm.
with the guy.
Well, because Mike Pondsmith is a black man, and
Yes.
I'm just going to get into it. Cyberpunk 2077 remains one of the most important releases for the next 2 years, with developer CD Projekt Red attempting to follow up what many believe to be one of the greatest RPG titles ever made, with Witcher 3.
I don't know about
Wild Hunt.
that. That's a little.
It's all perspective, Mike. You are in the minority among the gamers.
I tell you what, the concept of what they're actually going to do, where they will allow you, like literally, whether you fail or complete the mission or whatever, how you complete the mission is going to change and affect the world around you. That will change RPGs from that point on, I believe. If it goes over positively, if it goes negatively, then. But they say that it's going to literally be very, very in depth. So that'll be interesting to see how that works.
Well, what I saw what they did with The Witcher is that they took something like a concept like Skyrim and made it more character driven instead of world. You know, and with a deep and vast world, that stuff that makes Elder Scrolls. That stuff that makes Witcher is still all there, but you also have a lot of character development for your character. Your character's voiced. You get to enjoy the cinematics of that and be a part of his decisions and everything. So, like, since that game came out, that has been like, yes, Skyrim was great, but then right after that, people went, ooh, Witcher 3, yeah, badass, you know, next level shit. Anyway, so just to continue on with the article, Cyberpunk 2077 follows a story of a world that's begun to decay in the wake of technological advancements being seized by corporations for their own gain. The player traverses the world, carving out their own legacy and attempting to fight back the oppression of being enacted upon people in their day-to-day lives. 2077 is a first-person action RPG with heavy sci-fi leanings and is tagged to feature many of the design elements that have made CD Projekt Red famous up to this point, including incredibly detailed world building, engrossive narrative, and an emphasis on player choice mattering. Unfortunately, the game has also been associated with problematic representations of minority groups, with fans upset over the treatment of a gang of Haitian criminals in particular, noting that their group is being referred to as the Animals is an offensive, harmful, lazy stereotype of culture. Mike Pondsmith, the creator of the tabletop franchise that has spawned the game, recently went to bat for CD Projekt Red in a went to bat for their representation of culture in a scathing reply in a Reddit thread about his recent video interview. Mike Pondsmith had this to say about his involvement and approval of what's happening in Cyberpunk 2077. One, if I was, because they're insinuating that, kind of like how Witcher, how like the main creator wasn't heavily involved at all, that Mike isn't heavily involved in this at all. They're kind of doing what they want with it. Anyway, he says, one, if I wasn't heavily involved, I would be able to get more done. As is, I barely have a life. Two, as for the Animals, the whole freaking point is that they think of themselves as powerful, dangerous, wild animals. You'd have the thought that the lady named Sasquatch would have given them the clue. And then also going into the original Voodoo Boys were a scathing commentary on on cultural appropriation. I love the idea that the real practitioners of voodoo have moved on and took back their turf. And they even got the Creole right, the actual language spoken by the Haitians. Who the bleep do you think you are to tell me whether or not my creation has been done right or not? Oh, man.
Yeah, you can't argue that because if he's satisfied with it and he created a tabletop game over this and he literally he's like, this is it in, graphical form, It's this. It's people doing stuff like normal for attention. I want to rant about this. It's not right. Dude, the guy is black. He he would be offended if they did something like that, and he would speak out. Obviously, he's speaking out to you. Why wouldn't he speak out if he didn't like it? Just saying.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and it went on. I can't find the rest of the stuff that was posted because they were talking about how, um, you know, apparently the Polish hate black people, and you know that the white character. I mean, you get to create your character, race and gender and everything, and you can even play the whole game. This was a news thing that I didn't bother to get up, but I just remember this. You can apparently play the entirety of Cyberpunk as a pacifist and never kill a single person. But apparently Polish people hate black people. And he is like, dude, I've traveled around Poland. I've been here helping with the game. And dude, these people are so great. And they're like, oh yeah, that's because you're traveling around with an entourage from CD Projekt Red. He goes, actually, I'm traveling with my son in taxis and Ubers, seeing the sights, and all the people I've encountered in this country have been almost unnervingly nice. It's been so scary nice. It's like, it's so like, not because I mean, when you and me, and I know you've actually left the country, but when you're in the United States, you expect people to just act or be a certain way, and then when you go to another country, they are completely different. They have
Mm-hmm.
a different culture. They act a different way, and like in the streets, they act different ways to different people. And, and it's just
Personally, my experience is that they're more open. They you walk by, they say hi. Like they have no
Mhm.
idea who you are, but they're still gonna say hi. They're respectful to you until you're disrespectful to them. I mean, that's kind of the normal outside of the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is really only the place that I have really encountered super stuck up people where they're just like, I'm better than you. I don't even want to talk to you.
Oh
It doesn't
yeah.
really
Uh
out
oh.
there like, oh, what?
I accidentally clicked on something and it was gonna play, but I got it. I got it.
All right.
All right.
Mm.
So no, one more thing with this. Anita Sarkeesian. She is a known, feminist media critic and a trying to find another word for critic, but a someone who has criticized video games in general in their portrayal of female characters. Um, I
Oh,
ha-
but she's real mad that they killed that woman.
what woman?
Wasn't the girl that in the trailer
Oh,
Sasquatch? He
okay,
killed
okay,
her.
okay. So no, that's not what she's mad about.
She's mad about something though.
Mad about something. All right. So apparently there's an ad. Now, if you've seen the game and one part of the game that really reminds me of Blade Runner are these giant neon ads,
Right.
you know, and well, sex sells, right? For advertising, and they created an ad, and she didn't like that, and she is offering her services, saying that we shouldn't have that. I lost you for a second, Mike. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, because your camera it went black.
Yeah. So my entire everything. You went black. You stopped talking. But, anyways, yes, the neon sign sex sells.
And she didn't like that. She's offering her services to come and help and make sure that that females are not perceived in a certain way. Now,
Hey, stop. Stream has disconnected. Attempted to reconnect a few seconds ago.
oh shit. Are we still recording?
You're still recording.
What the hell happened?
I mean, obviously we have a good solid connection.
I know.
I mean, I've got a good connection here.
So yeah, it says we're still recording. I mean,
But we're just not live anymore.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I guess. I'm gonna make doubly sure that we are still recording before. Sorry about that, folks. Things happen from time to time. You might hit a little bit of snag. Yeah, we're still
There it
recording.
went back. Now we're back live.
I'll be darned. I want to say Blaine said he was having some issues here lately.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. Anyway, guys. Anyway, I personally feel that this game is getting so much hype, and especially with the Keanu Reeves, and it's getting next level hype, that people are just jumping on this to jump on it.
Yep. That is exactly.
They did the same thing in a way as far as the race thing goes with Resident Evil 5 being set in Africa and a white dude killing black guys. And you know what? When you say it just like that, yeah, it sounds bad.
I mean, it does, but
they're infected. I mean, it's the setting.
They could have maybe added a new character in and made them black as well.
They did. Shiva's black, and she's
right. But I mean, it's just, here's the thing: people are gonna look for problems on things that are trending or things that are big because they want the attention.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is just attention. They want to, well, you shouldn't do this and that, and it's like, but really, that stuff's all around here. You know, it's everywhere. So they're just trying to recapture what they would believe that a world in 2077 would be like. I think people just need to stop being so sensitive.
No, I agree. I do agree that we need to, like, when you're doing something, you think about does this meet story and plot purposes? What is actually like because people will be like, you're doing this just to do this, and it's like, well, no, here's why. Just like Mike pointed out in his reply, it's like, dude, there are reasons. It's not just to be an asshole. And some people don't like language used. Like, I remember there was a GTA Vice City where you were inciting kind of a gang war between the Cubans and the Haitians, and you're kind of like working for both sides to get them to clash with each other. And there was a line where it said "kill all Haitians." Well, there were people within the Haitian community that didn't like that wording, and so they went back and they fixed that in subsequent versions of the game, and not like you can today, which is a patch, but in later versions of the game that were sold, it didn't have it worded like that, And I understand, I can understand that. It's like, wow, that's pretty harsh. Maybe as a developer, think about what you're doing and think of, don't let them and your critics define the game that you make. Don't do that.
But essentially they are. I mean, if that whole kill all Haitians was something that, that character, something that major. I've never played the game, so I have no idea. So I'm going off of this.
It was just something telling you what to do. It was just telling you, like, to kill, kill everyone, essentially.
Well, like I was saying, is that there's a meaning behind it. They're pissed off at this point, so they want this to happen. Like, everybody at some point gets pissed off and says something like that. It just, let them make their game. You're only pushing buttons on those that are big to get recognition. To it's not like you're really raising awareness. It's one line in one video game. Like, I don't know. I just personally, I guess I just don't get it, because I don't see that as, it's not a problem for me. Like, I'm not racist. I don't feel that way. So I cannot see that side of the coin. I can only see one side, and that's, I don't understand why we just can't get along and oh well, they said in that game it's just a virtual world. It's not like the whole game is kill all of them, and like the whole game is specifically driven towards that. That then there's a problem when you literally make an entire game that's like kill all Haitians, and but there's they're killing Cubans, they're killing all this stuff. I don't get it. I don't see it.
Well, and as I said, don't change the actual substance. I mean, don't do that at all. But be mindful of the wording that you use. And that's I feel that as people, we need to be respectful of people, of that anyways. Just in general. But
Yes.
I don't think I have any more for Cyberpunk. Apparently there's now a what's that called? a petition. There's now a petition to get to make Keanu Reeves the Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Yeah.
Good old Keanu Reeves.
He's kind of become the new, like, people are loving him, and it's like he's been the same dude forever. So it's like I don't understand like why it just like all of a sudden now.
Why are you guys just figuring this out?
I know, dude. He's been awesome since day one, dude. Since Bill and Ted. He's like the same dude. I also Cyberpunk's gonna have multiple endings. Your choices are gonna matter, so you'll be able to weave in and out. Do some cool. That makes really cool replayability for the game. I'm looking forward to the game. Also, Cyberpunk will not have any sort of load times. Once you load in, you're in. That's cool.
I wonder how long that load time is going to be.
Well, I mean, I would think like GTA 5 or Red Dead 2. It takes you a little bit to get in, but once you're in, man. You're ready to go. I have some other Xbox stuff. So first of all, there's word that we didn't, of course, we didn't see Fable this year at E3. Nothing about Fable. Nothing for a while, or ever since that canceled game from a while back that they were going to do this big multiplayer thing. But apparently, it doesn't sound like the game is going to actually be called Fable 4. The report coming from Eurogamer is that there is one being made. It's not going to be called that. It will be big budget, and it also they're reporting that we won't see it anytime soon, as the game is still in early stages. According to the outlet, Playground Games, the team behind Forza, is making the game, except it isn't the team behind Forza. While Playground Games is developing the new Fable, it's a brand new team. As you may know, this lines up with previous reports about the project. If this new report's accurate, then it means that the new Fable will be a story and character-driven open-world action RPG that Microsoft is pumping considerable resources and will put a team of roughly 200 developers on. So what I'm getting from that is that they Playground hired some new people, and that higher-ups at Playgrounds are going to supervise these guys making this game and being it up to Playground standards. Just reading on here, as mentioned above, it's like we haven't seen one for years. And just 2 years ago, Microsoft shut down the studio traditionally behind this series, Lionhead, and canceled the game it was working on, Fable Legends, which was that free-to-play multiplayer game.
Right.
So why does Microsoft want to return to the series? Well, apparently, according to Eurogamer, it saw PlayStation's Horizon Zero Dawn and the success it had, and this at least partially rekindled interest in Fable. So a little bit of news on possible Fable. What do you guys say about that?
I agree that they should bring it back. I mean, everybody liked the first Fable. It's a great game. Second, third one kind of, they're not bad. I enjoyed them, but they're not awesome.
Yeah, but you take the idea of Fable and the idea of making your character good or bad and doing your choices.
Here's the thing: there's already like 6. Like, we've got a ton of games and people love them that are exactly like what Fable was.
Mm-hmm.
But they're better. I don't know why I went into walk-ins. It was.
Well,
You
Fable was a good
know.
game.
Fable was the best game. I
I
took that pocket watch.
Yeah, dude. It is a much different world now, but I see that like take that same concept and put it into an open world like Breath of the Wild
Yes.
and have fun with it. Make it something that we already have, but kind of with a different flavor. That way, it feels brand new.
You
to
can make it
us.
Fable. I mean, Fable has its. I mean, it has its way. There's.
What are you smacking over there?
You smacked something, so I smacked something
I
back.
clicked my mouse. So they also
You
added.
clicked it very vigorously.
I clicked
Not
it with it.
vigorously.
I
With
clicked it.
assertiveness.
I clicked it with intent.
Intent. I mean, that was like a. But you probably can't hear that. But anywho.
No, I could hear it on your side. I don't know if you can hear it on my side. I know you can because you're my microphone. Anyway, Microsoft adds the last batch of games to the Xbox One backwards compatibility catalog. And of course, they have announced that after this, there will be no more backwards compatible games from original Xbox and 360 coming to the Xbox One, as they're going to be focusing on making Xbox One, original 360 and then, of course, Xbox One games backwards compatible on Scarlet. So I have the list here. Are you ready, good sir?
Yeah, go.
So for the original Xbox, we have Armed and Dangerous. I don't remember that one.
I don't either.
Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. I remember this game, but I never played it. It's called Sphinx, and I can't. And the font is too small for me to read it because, quite literally, the box art on this thing is about that big. So I remember that. And then we have Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and Splinter Cell Double Agent. We have 4 Splinter Cell games. And then we have Unreal Championship 2 for the original Xbox. Then for the 360.
Is it And the Cursed Mummy?
It could be. It's way too small for me to read. I think that's the only. I think that's the only one.
An Xbox.
I think that's the only
It
one.
says it's on all those, yes.
So for 360, we have Azura's Wrath, Battlefield 2, Modern Combat. It's hard to read that.
Modern Warfare?
No. Modern Warfare, that's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
No, this is Battlefield
2,
2 Modern Combat.
Well, I guess.
Enchanted Arms, Enslaved, Far Cry Classic, original Far Cry. But then we have Far Cry Predator, which I believe that is that's a different one. I think because you have Far Cry Classic, but then Far Cry Predator, I thought that was the 360 version with the expansion. Wasn't I can't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Infinite Undiscovery. That's a Square Enix RPG. King Kong. That is Peter Jackson's King Kong. They made a game for it. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix.
Ooh.
A Prince of Persia game. It's a newer one, not one of the original of that trilogy that they did. And then they have Skate, Star Ocean: The Last Hope.
Ooh.
Yeah, Syndicate, 2 Human, and then Unreal Tournament. And then, last but not least, they have announced Xbox One enhanced updates to these old titles, and they're all rare games. So if you have the rare replay, what's going to happen, guys? If you have the rare replay, all of these games that you have will separately download, and they have separate download files. Even though you still need the disc to launch the game, to launch these games. It's kind of weird. But Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Banjo Nuts and Bolts. Cameo, Perfect Dark, and Perfect Dark Zero. Viva Pinata and Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise. Anyway, all those games, if you have Xbox One X, are going to have updates. And I assume that means that these games are going to be playable in 4K. Or at least a version of 4K.
Right.
Which would be interesting, different. But
Yeah, well.
yeah. The last thing I have for today is FF7. We got some FF7 stuff.
People are mad. We're mad.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I completely forgot.
They're not big enough.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. I had other stuff. This was going to be a happy topic. Now we're going to talk about how they're mad over Tifa's boobs.
Who cares? That's trivial. Whatever.
Okay, so I read that Square Enix has a department where they're like conscious about social issues. You know, as I as I said with Cyberpunk stuff, we live in a world where you don't want to just openly offend people while making games.
No.
Okay, for coming from Japan, we all know nerds, gamers, anime lovers. Anime has a very bad habit of just over-sexualizing women. Not just sexualizing, over-sexualizing women. And Tifa was a part of that back in the 90s. She was very well represented with curves, particularly with pretty large breasts. And
well, I mean, I wouldn't say curves, maybe triangles.
Have you seen the cosplay of that I've seen some women do of Lara Croft, where they're wearing a blue tank top, but their breasts are like pointed?
Oh, it's cut in the center.
Yeah. So it's like there they are cosplaying, and they're just your eyes are immediately drawn to their chest because you're like, whoa, those are pointy. Anyway, no. So I guess there's a department at Square that told them like, hey, you need to tone Tifa down a bit. She definitely has the original concept and design of her was pretty sexualized, and you can achieve the same thing without glamorization.
Right.
So people are mad about that.
There's probably guys out there who are like, they're remaking 7. Tifa's gonna look hot, and they're literally that's all they cared about.
Well, she does look attractive. I mean,
she's attractive.
I mean, they made Aerith look way more attractive than her original concept, even from Advent Children.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, no, people are upset about that. People are upset that she's wearing a black undershirt. Because the idea is that with a white tank top, you might be able to see through it.
Yeah. Just people being people.
Yeah, no, and on GameFAQs there was just 39 pages of people bitching.
You know what? You want to see Tifa in that way? I'm sure there is a ton of hentai porn for you out there. Go get it.
Oh
Leave my game alone, okay?
Dude, no, she looks fine. She looks fine. There's nothing here's the thing. And here's what I loved about this, okay? We talked about Lara Croft. Lara Croft had huge boobs in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huge boobs. And we are dropping frames again, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I'm watching it.
Pretty bad. What is going on, man?
We're going back up now, but it's still saying that we're no.
No, we're dropping frames like a some bitch.
Frames.
Yeah. I mean, we're recording, and that recording is already going to get uploaded anyway. So,
right.
Yeah, no, we're just going to keep going. So with Lara Croft, she was pretty sexualized. And then in the newer trilogy, they completely toned that down. It was no longer about her sexualization. It was about her evolution as a character. She still wore a tank top. She was still an attractive girl. But that wasn't the emphasis on it. And it was completely no, she's a badass. And this is her evolution into a badass. And
right.
So you take someone like Anita Sarkeesian, and she was very women aren't about breasts. It's it's like that. It's like the whole cliche. You have a guy's armor in an RPG and a gal's armor, and it's more revealing, right? But somehow it's even more better at protecting you.
Right.
But women shouldn't be just perceived like that in games, which I can. Okay, sure, yeah. But then it's like that same person bitches about the new Tomb Raider because, oh, you're just doing that to placate. So now like they went too far the other way. It's like now you have to take away her sexuality to like at all. It's like, my God,
I just say, hey, you want it? Come draw it.
Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah, no, people are mad about Tifa, and and also her skirt was longer. Yeah, whatever.
Too long.
Yeah, too long.
Anyways.
Anyway, so FF7, of course, this is perceived to have, this is like 20% of the story of the original game is going to be in part 1. It's going to be on 2 Blu-ray discs, about 30 hours, a full Final Fantasy experience. So now there's reports that Sephiroth could be the new final villain of this part, which is fine with me. You and me already talked about this. It makes kind of sense that they're already sprinkling him in. We already saw a scene where a vision of him is in front of Cloud, and Cloud's like, "You're not real," and tries to hit him, and then, he's not there. He's a figment,
right,
of, in Cloud's mind. But of course, then like we find out, Sephiroth kills the president at the very end, and but he's gone. All that's left is the sword, and then they have to escape. But I can foresee them changing it to where they actually encounter physical Sephiroth there instead of at Junon for the first time.
Yeah, it would make sense. But
I mean, you can still do something later on, but since you're building up this Sephiroth character with Cloud, and then potentially with Tifa as well.
Ooh, that got caught.
Oh, the burpee?
Yeah, it got caught on there. I looked at it, I was like, oh, I didn't move way fast.
Yeah. Anyway, my internet is really bad right now.
I know.
Of course, it probably doesn't help that it's been raining and stormy, so that may be an issue. Of course, I may just need to update, or like restart the router too. So, who knows? But anyway, that doesn't affect the recording. So, 20% Sephiroth lead villain. Apparently, according to Katase. Now, I saw 2 different articles. I saw one that's like, no, it's going to take just as long. But he says right here in this article, our good buddy Yoshinori Katase. Due to work already done on the first game, we anticipate development of the second game to be more efficient. We have our own internal schedule and plan. We'd like to focus our information on the first game. That seemed to be the thing that he said a lot. And of course, I mean, when you're making an indie game, the foundation is your start. So I would perceive that like any future part in this series is gonna use the same foundation, the same gameplay, the same combat. From
hopefully,
that. Yeah. So also
improve on, do not change.
No. Yeah, no tweaks. And I wouldn't even everything that I've seen of the combat, I wouldn't even fully change anything to make it better. I would just tweak it.
I would just make it smoother
because it needs to feel the same. Across the series. But FF7 Remake has a whole new voice cast. They've replaced the Advent Children cast. Apparently, they will still continue to voice the characters in other things.
Yeah.
But not this game. So what I have here is that they wanted to go with a cast that you didn't really feel familiar with. They wanted a new thing, and the voice actor for Cloud, Steve Burton, he tweeted out, "As you may have heard, I will no longer be voicing the amazing Cloud Strife. Much love and respect to Square Enix for the opportunity. Forever grateful. And so grateful to all the fans. Thank you so much for the love and support. My best to @ReallyCody." He's the new actor. And I'm sure he will do a great job. And he responds, Cody Christian is his name. "Steve, you paved the way. You made this character what it is and have contributed in shaping a legacy. Very big shoes to fill. It's both an honor and a pleasure for all that you have done, and for all the fans. I won't let you down. Thank you." And the characters that we do have confirmed, Cloud is voiced by Cody Christian. He was in All American and Teen Wolf. the new show from MTV.
Right.
Barrett, voiced by John Eric Bentley from Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen and Independence Day: Resurgence. Aerith, voiced by Brianna White from Criminal Minds, Beyond Borders, and Occupants. Tifa is voiced by Britt Baron from the TV series Glow. That's from Netflix. It's that Glow is the Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling show. It's kind of like a comedy, dramedy type show on Netflix. Jessie, voiced by Erica Lindbeck, Spider-Man, Persona 5, and Thundercats Roar. Yeah. Biggs, voiced by Gideon Emery, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and Teen Wolf. Wedge, voiced by Matt Jones from Breaking Bad. He was Badger, I do believe. And I'm gonna
Right.
And then lastly, they have nothing from him, but Sephiroth is voiced by Tyler Hoechlin. Hoechlin, Hoechlin, and so that's our cast. Completely new guys coming on board. I was a bit taken aback because at first I didn't notice a difference, but when I start paying attention, there's a difference. I noticed a difference with Barrett, and right before you called me, I was watching the whole thing again for the 7th time. Cloud fighting, Cloud and Barrett fighting the Scorpion, where they're actually talking during combat, and I could tell a difference. It's the same voice type for Cloud. In other words, like, when I didn't notice a difference between Steve and Cody, on base tone they're the same, but their delivery is different.
Right.
And maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they're going, like, I've actually heard, Barrett sounds different than the other guy. Of course, the other guy, he voiced Jet from Cowboy Bebop, and he does a lot of other voice work. A great voice actor. But this other guy, he sounds a little bit more preachy. And to which
Right.
I get that, because that's what Barrett is for the first part of the game. He's very preachy, very passionate about what they're doing against Shinra. And if, I wonder if, how this decision was made internally to change the English voice act. Did they change the Japanese as well? We don't know. But was it like they were talking well, we want to change this guy and this guy, and well, it's not fair if we just change a couple. Maybe we should just start from scratch. I wonder if that was the case, because they didn't want anybody to get offended or let down. Maybe one of them or all of them weren't, because I had heard that the old cast voiced the entire game, and they went right back to the drawing board. All right, no, do it all over again. And what that does to me, okay, so this game's going to be a worldwide release. It's not going to be releasing in Japan first. It's going to release in U.S. and Japan at the same time, right?
That's awesome.
It is amazing. They want both versions to be represented for how they think the tone should be. And that's awesome, because I played many games from Japan that feel very off for us.
Right. They do. They really are. Some of it. Let's just go back to 7. The original. I mean, nothing else needs to be said. You really read that and you look at it and you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, this guy are sick.
This guy are sick.
Yeah, this guy are sick. My favorite one, other than that, was when Cloud first meets Aerith. And Cloud falls from the plate all the way down into the slums. Lands, on top of the church, falls through the church, lands on the flower bed,
and miraculously survives.
Yeah. Still big, It's still big for a soldier, first class, And he's like, man, what happened? And she goes, yeah, you fell from the sky. It's like, oh, I did? I landed. Oh, crap, I landed here. Where am I? She goes, this is a church in the slums. It suddenly landed right on top of me. You really gave me quite a scare. It almost makes it sound like the church itself. The entire church fell on Aerith. And she's like, ah!
Aerith's like, oh,
Like, I can just imagine her at the flowers, at that little flower bed. It's like, ah! And it's like, the whole thing lands. It's all wrecked and everything. And she's just sitting there like, I'm okay.
I'm hoping that they do a more realistic scenario for this. So, like, if you're just sitting there tending your flowers and literally a smash, bang, and something falls in front of you into the water, because there's water in the church there, you're not just going to be like, oh, you're literally going to be taken aback. You're going to jump back. You're going to be like, oh my God. You're going to freak out. You're going to pee your pants.
Yeah.
So hopefully they capture that a little better. There's a lot of small details that I think will be a lot better. I'll be excited to see what is to come. May 3rd.
March 3rd.
March 3rd. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
March 3rd.
Wrong M.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't you delay this game on me, damn it.
I'm not. You know what would be really bad if they end up pushing it back to May 3rd. You'd be like, I swear to God, I'm going to murder you. I'm going to murder you in your sleep.
You did this.
I know, and
this
it's
to
gonna suck 'cause we're both going to take that week off, and if it gets pushed back, we're both going to be like, no, especially to May.
I know. Okay, so like how we have to take time off work, we have so many people that work with us that we actually have to schedule it in like October of this year for next year.
Yeah.
We have to schedule all the days off that we want for next year, starting in January and October. We have to schedule it. And so if that makes planning, I mean, of course you're planning vacations out that early, concert dates. That's one thing that sucks because a lot of concerts aren't announced that far in advance. The only way that you can like really hope to get it is that if the concert was previously announced, like I went to Metallica this year and they announced it a whole year in advance. Tickets went on sale a whole year in advance. So it's like I already knew what day it was. So then my goal for scheduling my days was getting that day off. I already knew, which is good, right? Well,
yep.
Okay. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes the tour dates, like I remember the previous year for Iced Earth, they got announced literally the week after we did, our scheduling. And I was like, oh my gosh. But
the biggest problem is how many people that have 3 weeks, and we're sitting back here with one.
Yeah, we can't take. We can only have
and
so
we're
many
at the
people
bottom
off.
of the list, so we've got to wait for all these people. You're not at the bottom of the list. I will be almost at the bottom of the list this year, but you're talking. Most of those people have 3 weeks that are ahead of us. Only a few that only have 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's like.
In our group, I'm like right smack dab in the middle, but that's still most of the good
Everybody
stuff.
Above you is 3.
Yeah. Okay, so then like we can only have so many people off per day. When we go to schedule it, it goes down the seniority list, and you look and see how many this day or that day. Are we good to still do this or not? Can I do that? No. So you have to pick. When I did that Iced Earth one, I lucked out. Because I knew when it was going to start, right? We didn't have days yet that we knew, but I knew roundabouts when it was going to start. So I just scheduled my week, and I went putting it there. I'm like and then it just so happened the week that I put it on, I was good to go. Good to go. Anyway, for this year, I'm taking time off for a video game. I'm taking time off for FF7 for sure. It'll be the first time I've taken time off for a game since Mass Effect 3. I took a couple days off for that. It was a concert and that. Took like half the week off. But I will be last year or this past year I got the week. This was March 3rd, so I got the week after that off, and the week before that was taken by a guy who was below me, so I should be able to get it with all things, hoping. I have one more story. This one's a much lighter-hearted story.
Okay.
A Twitch psychic tells viewer to leave husband and is accused of being a scammer.
All right. Then.
Yeah, you didn't know what to say to that, did you?
Nope.
Twitch psychic Aphrodite has been accused of being a scammer after advising a viewer to leave their husband during a tarot card reading. A self-described sassy psychic who mixes tarot with modern internet culture. Aphrodite boasts over 20,000 followers on his Twitch, where he live streams tarot card readings for his viewers on a daily basis. He also has his own website and YouTube channel with over 47,000 subscribers, and offers readings on such topics such as relationships, careers, and alongside celebrity readings that usually focus on telling the fortunes of internet personalities, most of which are seemingly unsolicited. So he does it like, I'm going to tell your future right now, even if you don't want to hear it. This isn't the first time Aphrodite has been accused of shady behavior. Last month, fellow Twitch streamer and YouTuber Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II, a.k.a. Destiny, called him out during a live stream podcast by Trainwrecked TV when he described Aphrodite's work as despicable and when he basically takes money off his viewers and lies to them. Clearly, Destiny's not a believer in the whole psychic power thing. However, it seems that his latest stunt has been really invoked the fire of the internet. According to Dexterto, the self-proclaimed psychic was in the middle of streaming a live tarot reading for a viewer on June 11th when he seemed to imply that she should divorce her husband in the live stream, a clip which can be viewed here. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Listen to me. I'm not judging your relationship. I'm going to tell you what to do, but what I'm going to tell you is that I'm concerned about this person not wanting the best for you, regardless what they say. It's noted, and the article goes on to note that it's not telling them what to do, just saying, I wouldn't stay. Do you remember Miss Cleo?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you remember those late night infomercials where she's telling people who their baby's daddies were? Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that.
Okay, first of all, Cleo, that's Maury's job. Don't be gimmick infringing.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't be gimmick infringing on that shit. You don't see Springer doing that. You don't see Steve Wilkos doing that. That's. I mean, granted, I don't watch these shows. I just know that's Maury's thing, man. You are not the father. So Cleo was like, that's the baby dad. That's the baby's daddy, and she's stealing that from her cards. Now look, haha, fun. Let's get this card. I'm actually kind of fascinated by how accurate astrology is. Like with the signs and telltale signs of that sign. What their traits are. My wife is an Aries, and when you start reading what an Aries is, it's like, holy crap, that's her.
Right.
When you start reading what a Virgo is, that's me. Like, that's nuts. Yes, multiple people have, it might not be 100% accurate, but for a lot of people, it tends to be. That's kind of cool. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not saying there's any mystical or mythical thing about it. It just happens to be. But can a card reading, a tarot card reading, that's like you said earlier, looking for something. Taking something within your life or within their life that you're reading and saying, this card means this. Are you experiencing any sort of stress? Well, guess we all are. Okay? Like what level? Monetary, relationship, work. That's a very broad question. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I just got a Discord message from Newegg because I followed them on Discord to enter that $10,000 PC giveaway. I'm like, who is messaging us? Oh, gotcha. Anyway, guys, that's about all I got this week, dude. internet just fans the fire, man.
Oh yeah.
Internet fans the fire. Like we came out of E3, you know, some really cool stuff. I found out a little bit more about that Lego Star Wars game. It's going to feature all the movies. You can play them in any order you want. You can do any scene you want from any movie anytime you want. You jump in.
That's cool.
And out. That's awesome, right? That's cool.
Pretty cool.
It's the biggest one they've ever made. And hey, thumbs up for me. That's awesome. But we had all this positivity, I mean, other than Bethesda. And
Yes.
and maybe some EA. But all this positivity, and now it's just getting bogged down. Hopefully we can kind of like leave some of this behind. I want to hear more about FF7. I want to know more. I want to see more. I want to play more. I want to play that demo. I want to play the demo.
Well, yeah. Who doesn't want to play the demo?
You.
Bullshit.
Liar.
That's all I'm gonna do.
No, I want to know more. I want to know what's going on with Last of Us. That's got to be, you know, we got a Death Stranding release. We know that's coming in the fall. We got, like, Last of Us has to be soon, right? You would think.
It has to be. I mean,
it has to be next year. But when? You know?
I don't know.
There's a rumor
We're gonna
about.
find out at PS6.
Hopefully, if it's because the rumor was February, but then the Last of Us Part 2 release date rumor debunked by voice actor. Hopefully, don't play. Okay, it's not gonna play. It's one of those things about clicking on stuff. So Ashley Johnson, of course, she plays Ellie. You know, she's like, you know, just the other day was the 6th anniversary, so she posted something on Instagram, and somebody comments, "Tell us the release date, please." And she said, "I've been saying February 31st for years, February 31st and October 32nd for years. Everyone's acting like it's real. I stand behind those dates because they're definitely real." That doesn't debunk anything. It just, she's like basically saying, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
When it comes to the February 2020 release, it might actually be the, according to Shug or Zug EX on Reset Era, that's the current internal release date for the game, which means there's a chance it could change before any formal announcement is made, like maybe getting delayed or whatever. That said, if the devs do land on a February release date, they may want to release it here soon because, yeah, we got all these other, FF7, Cyberpunk, Avengers. Those are all coming out in March, April, and May, respectively. So if this game is coming out before all of those, you need to get that news out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thankfully, we still have other PlayStation State of Plays. So, who knows? We'll see in the future. But that's all I got, dude. That's all I got this week.
Alrighty.
Next week, guys, we're taking a week off. I thought you were going to say something.
No, I literally thought you froze, so I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'll just sit here and wait."
No, well, because you started
you just
doing
said next week, so I was just kind of like,
I'm like, yeah, next week we're taking a week off. Both him and I are going to be. I'm going to be working. I think you're going to be working the same day.
I will be working. Yes.
So we're going to be. So we are definitely going to be taking next week off because we've been working so hard. For you guys to get cutting some pretty cool content up with these extra. We did an extra podcast last week with the E3 stuff. Now we got this kind of cleaning up some extra stuff, and so we're gonna take next week off, and the week after that is the week of the 4th. So the episode will come out on July 4th. So stay tuned for that. I don't know what we're gonna do yet or what we're gonna talk about. We don't know if there's any news. We do have an episode in the bank that is a retrospective on the PSP. So I don't know when we're going to drop that because I'm holding on to it, and you know, and I'm comfortable with just not releasing anything next week, just taking a week off and seeing you guys week after that. But
yeah,
we'll be back at you, and not next week, but the week after that. Mike, thanks for joining me here tonight. We went a little bit later than normal due to a late start, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles.
Internet issues.
Yeah, man, some internet issues. I don't know what's going on because now it seems to have stabilized for now. But
It still keeps saying we got notifications that frame drops, but
it
whatever.
does, but it hasn't dropped in. I've been keeping an eye on on my bit rate, and so like the last, it keeps changing the percentage. It's because if you see like it went really far up and then it went down the longer that we've been streaming, so it keeps updating the overall percentage rate. That's what the whole thing. Anyway, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Game Addicts podcast. Please stay tuned for for the next episode here in the coming weeks. Please check us out on social medias. That's a Game Addicts Play on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can check out the podcast on podcast services all around the place, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. All of those great podcast services out there, including our YouTube channel, which is your one-stop shop place to find us, and an audio and video, as well as some gameplay stuff. So please go over to our YouTube channel, search the Game Addicts Podcast, find us, and subscribe to help us grow that and get that up to the next level. And as far as the video stuff go, we go live on Twitch, on twitch.tv/GameAddictsPlay when we're not having connection issues, which has only been twice. We only had connection issues twice. So we through our period of live streaming, I think we've had a pretty good run of success rate, but it happens. So do check us out over there on Twitch. With that being said, until next time, I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
Come on, guys. Have a good one. And stay positive. Come on, man. Stop spreading all this negativity.
Yeah.